is that like stress is multidimensional. So it can be psychological stress, it can be physiological. Even
Yeah.
dieting itself is a stressful process on the body.
Mm,
But at the
mm,
same time, if someone was binge eating, that's a stressful process on their body too. So like that
yeah.
increased stress on their body to digest all that food. So yeah, it could be
Yeah.
a lack of sleep. It could be like you're not happy in your workplace. It could be that you're in an unhappy relationship. It could be that food types. Like so there's you can actually test it. Like say if you want to see if someone is like sensitive to sugars and stuff like that too, get them to
Mm,
take their heart rate. I think there is an app, but get them to take their heart rate before they eat. Get them to take
yep.
it like after they finish eating, and then I think it's 10 or 15
Mm,
minutes after every time of that. If their heart rate increases a lot, that food is
yeah.
slightly more harder work and more stressful for their
Mm.
body to kind of process. So even if they're not doing testing to see like
Oh,
constant
okay.
blood glucose management and stuff like that, you can see if their heart rate goes up and it's a little bit more stressful for the body to break down. Super stressful, your body will
Mm,
release blood sugar from like stored glycogen levels, right? And there's going to become a
yeah.
point where those glycogen stores are so depleted. So, say
Mm,
for example, so some of the most, when I did constant glucose monitoring, the highest glucose reading I had was when I went without food. It had nothing to
yeah.
do with anything I was eating. It's just that high stress and lack of food
Mm. Oh,
that
okay.
can kind of create it. And this probably is meal timing and stress, is that
Yeah.
so migrating motor complex, which is our intestinal cleaner, that takes at least an hour and 15 minutes to do one clean. So you want
Mm,
at least to sweep up the debris in your gut, any leftover food particles, and kind of push it away so it can be excreted. When food particles sit there, that's when they can ferment and create bacterial overgrowth and cause digestive issues. So you want at
yeah.
least a 2 hour gap, 2.5 to three, ideally 3 hour gap between meals. So you get at least a few rounds of cleaning your
Mm,
stomach in between.
yeah.
But when it goes too long, that's when your blood sugar will start to rise. And that's if someone already has high stress and they already are more prone to insulin resistance and diabetes, you're
Mm,
catapulting that. So it's about having that regular meals, isocaloric, making sure it's not going to like fluctuate blood sugar too much, and then they're going to have like better energy for that too. So if
yeah.
someone has like
Okay.
high stress amounts, that's when you can see their gut lining deteriorate, and it creates more so
Mm,
imbalances in their microbiome too. So it's not that like they eat a particular food and they get a reaction, it's that the stress has
mm,
deteriorated the immune system which sits within their gut, which is what makes it
yeah.
increases like intestinal permeability. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of the starting point for it,
Mm,
is our immune system, our hormones, our neurotransmitters, everything are housed within our
mm,
gut. But cortisol is
yeah.
probably one of the number one things to cause like I suppose digestive discomfort. But the other thing
Yeah.
is
100%.
CRH, so that hormone which is released from that stress cascade, that suppresses
Yep.
growth hormone. So
Yeah.
it inhibits growth hormone releasing hormone, and
Yep.
that leads to a buildup of bile in the liver. So this also lowers testosterone. So if someone like your guys are trying to build muscle, if they have a high cortisol amount, they don't have those, I suppose, anabolic, like muscle anabolic hormones to be able to facilitate muscle growth or muscle synthesis. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like you become resistant to the cortisol over time.
Mm,
Um, and this like affects like your adrenals, and they might start to like urinate more because your adrenals sit on top of your kidneys. They can start to build
mm,
up a fatty liver. They can start to get like insulin resistance, and that can make it even harder because we need insulin to be able to get into our cells to facilitate muscle building. Um,
yeah.